Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it was sent to me by one of our admin who received this message. If you have any story that you want to share with us, please come to my inbox. Then you share with me your story. And also I appeal to this other brother of ours who once sent me a confession. He was using a +23 phone number. I appeal to you, if you are listening, please can you come back and reshare with me your confession again, because I think your chat got lost because of a lot of messages that do come on my WhatsApp. So the following story, it reads like this. Hello, how are you? Can you please post my own story? It's anonymous. My name is Chinedu, not his real name. I am 36 years old and I live in Lagos, Nigeria, where a lot of people, they see me and they even want the type of a life that I am living, always drinking and always having parties with me, having beautiful women by my side at all the times. So most of the people, they just think that I am someone who was street smart, who got lucky, who scammed a lot of people, who then stopped being a Yahoo boy and became a successful businessman. But what people do not know is that there is this other dark secret that I do carry, and each and every day it's like I am living in a nightmare. And what I did, it is very evil. I don't think that a lot of people have ever had a story like mine, because mine is a story of evil that is quite unimaginable. So I never thought that I'll end up doing the things that I did. Worst of all, I never thought that I will come to a stranger to tell my own story. But let me confess, and I want people to know that for each and everything that you do, and if you want to deal with the devil, you are supposed to be ready to do and to perform certain tasks, even tasks that can make you feel like you are no longer a human being. The thing that I did, the price that I paid for the wealth that I have, it always suffocates me. And above it all, even though I am wealthy, I am cursed to die alone without anyone by my side. So it all began, I can say, roughly about 10 years ago, when I was somewhere around 26. So at that time, I was living in a place near Aba. At that time, I was struggling to make ends meet. My father had passed away when I was nothing but a young boy, leaving my mother, my young brother, and me to fend for ourselves. My mother, oh mother, may your soul rest in peace. God rest her soul. My mother was a strong woman. She was a devout Christian who raised us with love and the fear of God. But life, I don't want to lie to you, it was hard. It is quite hard for you to go to church on a hungry stomach, to worship, to focus, to come back knowing that you do not have anything to eat. Still, your mom tells you that God is great. One day the situation is going to improve. It was very hard. And as I grew older, I became desperate to escape the poverty that surrounded us. I had heard stories of young men who had become wealthy overnight through what we call in our country Yahoo, which is internet fraud. These men, they were always driving flashy cars, some of them that were lucky enough to have made enough money and to evade the police. They were living in mansions and had everything that money can buy. And you know, where there is money, women, they are always going to be there. But I knew that some of them were involved in something that was far darker than just internet fraud. I knew that there were those that were involved into rituals, diabolical rituals that required human sacrifices and blood and some acts of evil like the ones that I ended up doing that are quite unimaginable. I told myself that I will never go that far. I was going to hustle, but I will never spill blood for money. So I said, since I was raised in a Christian family, but as time went on, my desperation grew and grew. and I watched my mother struggle to put food on the table. Her health, as always, was deteriorating with each and every passing day. I watched as my peers moved forward in life, getting married, having children, whilst I remained stuck in the same place. I had consulted, and I was told that the way that my father had passed away, we had not done the proper traditional ceremonies. That is why my life was stuck like that. So I did this in secret, and I knew that if I was going to tell my mom that I had consulted with a healer, she was going to be angry since we were Christians. So the pressure of wanting to succeed, wanting to run away from the spirit of poverty and the spirit of my father, it was just too much. That was when I met a man who said that he wanted to change my life forever. So he was one of the richest young men that I had ever met at that time. So he was a friend of a friend, and we had met at a bar, and I will call him Chris. We met at a bar in Lagos. He had heard about my struggles and offered to help me, but his help, little did I know that it was also going to come at a price. When I returned back home, I even asked God for forgiveness for not being patient enough with him, and I said, please forgive me. Now I can see that this is my time, and your answer, even though it took a long time, but finally you've responded to my prayers. Thank you, God. For this man had said that he had been sent by God to help me. I did not know that he was involved in rituals. He invited me to his home, and he told me that for me to be rich, I was supposed to have a strong heart, to be willing to do whatever it was going to take, and I could become as rich as he was. And when he started speaking about sacrifices, even some that happened in the Bible, I was hesitant. But when I was about to leave, I said, okay, I am willing to do this. And that was when he mentioned that we were supposed to go and meet Baba, a powerful juju man who was residing in a remote village in Delta State. So finally, we went to that village, and when we arrived at Baba's shrine, just looking at the compound, it was quite terrifying. And instead of me walking away as a Christian man, I just wanted to be rich. There were skulls and bones that were scattered everywhere. There was the smell of blood and incense. This man, he was quite an old man, and he looked at me once and he told me that if I wanted to be rich, I have to make a sacrifice that will bind me with the spirits like forever. He did not tell me what the sacrifice was going to be, only that I would know when the time came. So after that night, my life began to change. I started making money through my Yahoo activities, more money that I had ever imagined. I will only speak with a woman only once, usually your elderly women in America. Then the next thing, the woman will be like, I want to give you boyfriend allowance. And these were a lot of women. So I was told that it was because of the spirits that were following me. So as the money was flowing in, something darker began to take hold of me. My mom, who was always there for me, fell ill and died suddenly. Her death was a blow to me, but it did not break me. I felt nothing. My heart began growing cold, and I did not even shed a tear. I still remember at her funeral, I was irritated when her relatives and my own relatives, as they were crying, I felt like she deserved to die. 3 days after we had buried her, I had a dream, and in that dream, this man he appeared to me and told me that time had come for me to complete the ritual. He told me that I had to dig up my mother's body and I had to sleep to have intercourse with her corpse. I woke up, Brother Nashi, and when I woke up, I tried to shake off the dream, but that was when he appeared to me physically. Suddenly, he was there, and Baba instructed me And he told me that if I was not going to do this that very night, and everything that I had gained through his shrine, it was going to be lost. He said, pick up your shovel and pick and go and dig up a grave, for my spirit is going to be with you. No one is going to be able to see you. No ghost, no god, no demon, no devil will be able to touch you. So that same night, that was when I went to the cemetery with a shovel, a pick and a torch. I was shaking with fear and disgust, but I was driven by something that was behind my control. This was after he had touched me on the forehead, and I felt a demon as it entered into my mind and into my heart. I rushed there and I dug up my mother's grave, and when I saw her lifeless body after totally destroying her coffin, I wanted to turn back, but the thought of losing everything, of going back to poverty, the poverty that I had escaped, pushed me forward. I did the deed. I did this wicked deed of sleeping with my own mother. When it was over, I buried her again and I walked away, my mind feeling numb. I lost my soul to the devil on that night. After that night, my wealth kept on growing until I became a millionaire. And my life, it is a whirlwind of parties, women, and luxury. With each and every passing day, it feels more and more empty. So over the years, I have tried to fill my life with all of these slay queens, but it is very hard to date a woman knowing that she is only there because of the money. I can't get married. That is my curse. I cannot start a family. I cannot make a woman to fall pregnant. Sometimes I just sit in my mansion alone, even though I'll be surrounded by luxury. Sometimes I might have 2 women in my mansion at a time. I just go in my bedroom and I lock myself up, pretending as if I am working, but then I start to cry. When I look at the money, the cars, the house, none of it means anything. I am haunted by the memory of what I did to my mother. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our admin. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world. Can you just imagine digging up your mother's grave and sleeping with your mother's dead body?